Good day, friends. I'm J Durrant, as you well know, and I thought today I'd just give a little chat about what my plans are for the Souls playthroughs. So I want to just quickly mention I have already begun them, as if you are watching my channel, you will know. For the Demon Souls videos, I have begun. I've only got 4 at the time of this recording, but there is more to come. The last couple of days I haven't quite felt really into doing any Demon Souls. Not because I'm not into the game. Don't worry about that. I'm definitely into the game. I loving it already. But because it's on PlayStation 3, and usually I'm playing on my Xbox One. And in order to record, I have to change a lot of stuff around, and I just couldn't be bothered to do it yesterday. And today I've been preparing for Christmas. Look at the ecstatic look on my face. Obviously, I'm not that into Christmas, but yeah, I've been doing some preparation for that. So I haven't really done any Demon Souls for the last couple of days, and not going to be any for the next 3 days either, because I'm not going to be at home. But that's not the point. I'll be back to it again next week and over, the next few weeks. I mean, just, until I finished it, really. And that's kind of what I want to talk about. That's that. I'm just going to keep going and going and going. Hopefully doing a video every day if I can. If not, there'll be a few every week. But, I want to get as much of it done as possible. But I want to make sure I'm enjoying it. I don't want to make it tedious for myself. But I remember when I played Dark Souls for the first time, I became mildly addicted to the game and I was playing it every day. And I feel like I'll be going even quicker with my videos once I'm on to Dark Souls. And that's it. And the actual, Dark Souls series, because then I'll be able to play them all on Xbox. Which is another thing to mention. All of the games are going to have to be played on console because I only have a laptop. And it's a pretty high performance laptop, but if I want to record stuff as well, it's just going to slow everything down, and it's not quite high enough to play stuff. I have got Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3 on the laptop, and I have played a little bit of all of them. But Dark Souls 2 kind of plays fairly smoothly, but for some reason it didn't feel right to me playing it on the laptop. And then I tried to play Dark Souls 3, and it played, but it was quite laggy, and I had to turn the graphics down all the way to get any really good results, and that just kind of ruined the experience for me. So they'll be through the console, and they'll be on Xbox because that's what I've got them on. And I am hoping to get a PlayStation 4 after Christmas. I'm hoping for plenty of money and to save up a little bit to do that, but and that also makes it so it depends on what games I'm going to be playing. But the first game, as you can already tell, is Demon Souls. That's what I'm currently playing. That's what I'm doing right now. 4 videos up, as I said. Enjoying it. And so I'm going to get through that. I'm going to do as much of it as possible. I don't know if there are optional bosses, but I plan to do the optional bosses. Do everything. Any kind of little side story things, try and get them as well. Look into the lore a little bit as well. Probably going to be a fairly long series, to be fair, and it's going to take me a while to do it, so hopefully by the time I've even finished Demon Souls I'll have that PlayStation 4 I want, but we will see. We shall see what happens. Can't make any promises, but we shall see. After Demon Souls, naturally I'll be moving straight on to Dark Souls, which I've already played through once. It's the only one of them that I have played through in its entirety already, although I did actually skip a couple of bosses, I think. So when I go through again, I'll actually fight them, and so we'll have first time reactions for them as well, which will be a bit fun. I'm not going to do a challenge run, and that applies to all of the games. I'm not going to do challenge runs because apart from Dark Souls I haven't played any of them, so I'm definitely not going to be good enough to do challenge runs. A lot of them it's going to be very blind, not a lot of knowledge. I'll know a bit about the bosses thanks to a lot of videos I watch, but most of the videos I've watched have just been about bosses, so I'm not going to know necessarily the routes to take and stuff, and so I may have to use internet to reference. Now after Dark Souls, naturally we'll move on to Dark Souls 2. It will be the Scholar of the First Sin edition because that's the one I've got, and I honestly actually can't find the original one really, not easily, not at reasonable prices. Scholar of the First Sin was the best price, really, and I also bought it before I was quite aware that a lot of fans of the series say that Scholar of the First Sin actually damaged Dark Souls 2 rather than improved it. So we'll take that as it is. I'll be doing all the bosses in that as well, all the DLC bosses, even if some of them are somewhat tedious. I'll do the whole thing because we want a full experience. So yeah, all these series are going to be quite long series on the channel, I think, and unlikely I'm going to be doing a lot of other gameplay during them. Although I have done that Assassin's Creed, I'll do a bit more of that. But these are the games right now that I'm playing. This is my plan to get the Souls games and play them. So after Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, which, naturally, again, moving through the Souls series, Dark Souls 3, very much a fan service game from what I hear, but I'm really looking forward to playing it because I've really got into Dark Souls. Honestly, I'm thinking about getting a Dark Souls tattoo at some point. That's how into the series I've got. I'm loving it. And even though I find it challenging, it's not like other games where I find it challenging. I go, why the hell is this so challenging? I'm like, this is why I play this game. So, that's what the plan is for the first 4 games, is to go Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin, Dark Souls 3. Now, after Dark Souls 3 is where it's going to get a little bit interesting. Now, hopefully, after I've got through 4 games, we'll have got through a few months, and so I will have the PlayStation 4, I will have the games I want, which means that I'll be able to move on to Bloodborne, which I've seen so much gameplay for, and I listened to the soundtrack so much for it, and I love the whole Lovecraftian inspiration for it because I've been reading the Necronomicon a lot lately, and it's gradually making progress through it. I'm loving it. So I really want to play Bloodborne. In a way, I would desperately want to play that first. It's how much I love it, but I don't have a PlayStation 4 yet, so I thought start Demon Souls, which is actually the most recent one I bought. But we'll start with Demon Souls and then go through the Souls ones, and hopefully by the time I get through all of them, we can move on to Bloodborne. But I can't wait to play it. It looks great. Again with Bloodborne, we'll do all the optional bosses as well. I think there are some. I'm making assumptions there. I don't know entirely about the structure of it, but I really want to play it, so hopefully. I just want to quickly mention, I'm not a speedrunner. I doubt I ever will be a speedrunner. I like to take my time with games to really enjoy them. I find speedruns, I admire the people who do them because it takes a lot of skill to be able to be that quick and stuff, but it's not my style. Anyway, but right, after Bloodborne, or before it, depending on the status of getting a PlayStation 4, it will be Lords of the Fallen. Now, some people have never heard of this game. I have played a little bit of it. I beat the first boss. I think I stopped playing it because I got Dark Souls and played Dark Souls instead. But it's considered a Souls-like. Now, I know that's a phrase that gets thrown around a lot, and a lot of people argue about what it means. When I say Souls-like, I'm thinking similar gameplay style and similar difficulty curve and kind of structure, in that you fight some lesser enemies and then they lead you to the big boss, and you fight the boss, you overcome the boss, and then that opens up more stuff to you. That's the kind of idea. So I would kind of count Lords of the Fallen as a Souls-like game. I think it's not quite as open in choices and stuff, and you don't get to create your own character, but it's that kind of principle. So if I don't have a PlayStation 4 by the time I finish Dark Souls 3, which I think is unlikely, but I'm terrible at money management, so that's a risk, I will go into Lords of the Fallen. If I have got a PlayStation 4, I will probably do Bloodborne and then Lords of the Fallen. If not, after Bloodborne, it will be Nioh. I'm going to say it like that because it seems about right. Nioh. Which a lot of people call Samurai Dark Souls. Now, I love samurai. I love Japanese culture. I have a replica katana made of wood. I want to get a metal one. So that's the kind of game that really appeals to me. And some people have said that it's very grindy and not quite as fast in some ways as Dark Souls, not as smooth, maybe very different. I know it's not a Souls game. I know that. I'm not going to be expecting it, but it's the gameplay. It's the style of gameplay and the bosses. That's what I'm going to enjoy, and so that's why I'm going to play that one. Lords of the Fallen is definitely going to be in there somewhere. Just when I play it might change. Maybe before, maybe after Neo, depending on all this, everything. And then the other game, the last game that I have so far decided I'm going to play, the last actual game I found that I consider Souls-like that I'm going to play is The Surge. Which some people have said it's Dark Souls with robots, is what some people have said about it. I've seen some gameplay of it, and to me it looks like fairly similar gameplay. I don't know a whole lot about that one. To be honest, I haven't looked into a whole lot, but from what I have seen, it reminds me a little bit of Dark Souls, but yeah, with the whole robots and sci-fi element, which seems quite cool. But I haven't heard a lot about Surge since it was released. I think there's about a week of kind of, oh, Surge, and then nothing since. And I haven't even seen boss listings or anything for it. So that's the one that I'll probably be going into most blind when I finally get it. But yeah, that's kind of last on the list, and it'll either be Surge or Lords of the Fallen that's last, probably by the sound of how I'm talking about this. But again, Lords of the Fallen is that kind of in that grey area right now. It depends on the PlayStation 4. But if I have a PlayStation 4 and I have Bloodborne, once I finish the Soul series, I'm going straight to Bloodborne. You know, but you know, that's my little plan. I know it's not the most concrete plan, and to be honest, I literally came up with it today. But you know, I thought I'd just do a little video just to kind of say what I'm planning to do, because it was an idea that came to mind, and I haven't recorded any Demon Souls today, so I thought I'd better put something up. So that's kind of where we stand with that. I did think of something else to say, but I have remembered by saying that. I have remembered what I was going to say. I had an idea for a kind of game that I would like to play. Because I enjoy the gameplay style of the Souls games, and I enjoy the whole boss fight idea and tough bosses that you have to overcome in a variety of ways. But a lot of people kind of get annoyed by that slog between where you're fighting all these people and you know, it's like, oh, I just want to get to the next boss, and then they get boss rush mods, so they can just fight the bosses, and they'll use cheat engines to kind of level themselves up as they go, kind of thing. Which made me think a kind of game that I'd love to play is a game where it's literally just boss fights in the style like Souls games with their boss fights, and you fight the first boss, and you're probably going to die a few times, but eventually you work out how to do it. You know, with the character you have this kind of screen at the beginning where you create your character, choose a kind of starting class and starting armor and stuff, and you can put your stats a little bit and stuff, and then you go fight the boss, and you fight a few times, and eventually you win. And when you win, you get some power, and you can use the power to level up a bit. And the idea is you do that, and then you go straight to the next boss. But the next boss is going to be very tough, and unless you're really good at these kind of games and can work out really quickly, you're going to die in the first time. But if you die against the second boss, you can go back and fight the first boss a few more times, power up a bit more, and go and fight the next one. And then it continues like that, and each boss is different, just like in the Souls games. Each one's quite unique, each one's got its own move patterns and move sets. So just because you've beaten the first one doesn't mean you're going to be able to beat the next one, because it's going to be very different. And maybe eventually the patterns start to repeat, but only after you've fought all these other ones. So you've kind of forgotten the first one by then, and maybe you're struggling so much against boss number 15 that you actually go all the way back to boss 1 just to fight him a little bit, just to kind of right, okay, that's the patterns in that's how I beat him, that's how I can beat him, and you know, just that kind of replayability kind of thing. And the bit I didn't mention is every time you fight the previous bosses, they get slightly tougher. So like New Game Plus kind of thing, every time you fight them, they get tougher. You know, that's just a little idea I had. I thought I'd just mention at the end of this video, in case there are any game developers watching who want to do it, and also just for a bit of fun and curiosity, just to say that's the kind of game I'd play. And you know, if that's the kind of game you'd like to play, do just mention it in the comments, because I'm not saying a game developer's going to see it or anything, but it'd just be nice to kind of hear if other people like that kind of idea. I'm never going to be able to do it because I have no idea about game design. I'm a writer, not a game maker, but you know, maybe I can write a story based on it. I don't know. I just thought I'd share that at the end of this, just get your thoughts on it. But you know, just let me know what you think about my little plan for the games as well. If you know of any other Souls-like games using my kind of definition of similar gameplay mechanics, similar kind of boss design kind of thing, where you have to fight the boss and you get the energy and that unlocks the other you know, if you know of any Souls-like games I haven't mentioned that you think maybe I'd enjoy to play, just suggest them to me as well, and I might add them to my list and play them at a later date once I get through these ones. It's going to be a long slog, but as I've been reminded lately, I'm only 20. I've got a long, long life ahead of me, we hope. Fingers crossed, guys. Fingers crossed, got a long life ahead of me, right? Right? Thank you. And so, I've got ages to play them. There's no rush. If I don't go a week without playing because I don't feel like playing, it doesn't matter. But yeah, any games, suggest them as well. Let me know what you think of that little game idea of just literally call it boss rush, because you're just fighting boss after boss. Let me know what you think of that idea, and if you've got any hints and tips for as the playthroughs progress, leave them down there and I'll put them in all in a Word document so I can reference them later. So yeah, I guess really now, guys, all that really needs to be done for this video is just to end it, because I'm talking too much, like always. So as always, if you've enjoyed the video, even though it's just me rambling about my plans for the Souls games, do press the like button. I just got attacked by an orb. Ooh, ghost. Or is it dust? Dust. Or fluff. I have dogs and they have a lot of fluff on them. I'm rambling. Someone smack me. If you enjoyed this video, please press the like button. If you want to see the Souls videos as they progress, please subscribe so you see them. Leave a comment if you fancy about the kind of things I've talked about. And until next time, my friends, arrivederci.